this is Cardfight Vanguards. I'm Dempster, and we're here as ZaCaptain.
Hi.
And Victor.
Hi.
And today, yes.
Yes. What about today? So
Today we have
Stars.
a Buddyfight video.
we're finally doing Buddyfight, guys. Ooh, so this right here is the second start deck
for Buddyfight X.
Yeah.
So this is X-SD02.
Ooh, indeed.
Yeah.
So because Buddyfight X kind of dropped recently, so this is actually a great time for us to actually jump into Buddyfight, and just so happens, right, Bushiroad actually provided us with this box along with the other boxes that you see for Buddyfight for here. So thank you guys for this. We really highly appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Bushiroad. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Alright. So onto the box itself. So this is Cross Dragon here. It's a
Why?
Sorry, I was thinking the other start deck. So this is Dragon
wrong
Filter.
one. This is Dragon Filter. Yes.
This is Dragon Filter indeed.
So this is the new Star Dragon start deck, and it also introduces the new archetype called Prism Dragon. And not only that, we'll see how the deck is like later on, but you'll see something very interesting. But for now, the front, well, we have the new buddy for Kanata. I forgot his name. Atora. So at the side we have Dragon Filter, the name, just in case you forgot.
Yeah.
And one of the red crystal dragons. Forgot the name also. I forget everything. And then the Buddyfight X logo and Lemire or something like that. His name,
something like that.
Yeah. So at the back here you see the same things, the card list and the introduction to Buddyfight and the stats for the overall stats for this deck. Now as you can see here, it is not very offensive, but it's super defensive, and you require a bit of technique to play this deck, which is in contrast to X-SD01,
the first start deck.
Yeah, Demon Lord Dragon of Tempest, because that one is very offensive. So in a way, this sort of cancels out one another.
It's the opposite of what that deck is.
It's totally opposite.
Yep.
So anyway, well, it's also for 9+ years, so hey, you feel good about buying this deck.
I think that 9+ years is referring to something else.
Yeah.
In any case, let's get into the box itself.
Alright, let's open it up, and we have more scotch tapes.
Yeah, more scotch tapes to open. So
great. Okay, there we go.
Alright, so we forgot to mention, but one of the basically the release date for this is out right now.
Yes.
So you guys can actually get your hands on the new set at the moment right now.
Yep.
So this is in the pack right here, and you see is the life counter. So
yeah, the life counter is very, very important, so do not lose it. You will need it for official tournaments if you're joining in, because they do not allow anything else other than official products. And come to think of it, it is kind of nice too, so why would you want to throw it away?
Yeah, that's true. So
yeah,
right. So what I have in my hands here right now, this is something that they call my buddy sheet.
My buddy sheet.
So this is basically something for newcomers to kind of like get into Buddyfight right now.
Yes.
So they explain everything that you need to know about Buddyfight in terms of what the field looks like, what's happening, what the turns are like, the phases, and all that other stuff.
Yep.
And on the back here, they actually have the Chibi Panda versus Baku comic.
Yep.
So basically, this is actually a comic that actually tells you the rules of Buddyfight. So in a way, so it's actually recycled from the previous start decks and trial decks that actually have the comic itself.
Yeah.
So you guys can actually read it now. It's in a big pamphlet that you guys can see very clearly. Well, as clearly as you can get from a big pamphlet.
And next we have the playmat. It's a paper playmat.
Yep.
So anyone who buys the trial deck can start just lay it on the table and start playing Buddyfight right away. And
Buddyfight
X. Huge logo. Yes.
Yeah, huge logo over there. The new logo for Buddyfight X right there. Then on the back here, then you guys can see this is the
introduction to the new start decks.
Yep.
Start deck 01 and 02. So if you want to see the video for Demon Lord Dragon of Tempest, it's on the other video right now. And if you want to see the video for Dragon Filter, well, you're looking at it right now.
So stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. Right. So that's about it for the playmat. Now let's move on to the deck itself.
So the deck itself, we're gonna plop it open right here.
Yep.
So you can see now we're gonna deconstruct the deck right now. So this is the deck deconstructed right now. So there's a lot of prismatic colors here.
Yes,
all puns intended for that.
Yes.
So
Rainbow. Okay, one thing I mentioned before that everything you see something different here. That's the template, the design for the Prism Dragons right now. It looks very nice. It's very different from the original Star Dragon frames. So the frame looks very crystal-like and rainbows and minerals and all the healthy goodness. So this is a healthier choice, everyone. Okay, anyway. Alright, so we'll go through all the cards one one by one, as we do for all trial decks and things. So I don't know what Cap is doing. So I'm gonna distract him right now. So we'll start with the Buddy for Kanata and for this deck, which is Radiant Crystal Dragon Athora.
Yes.
So it's a size 3. Core cost is to put the top card of your deck into this soul and pay 2 gauge. What are you doing?
Actually, we didn't fully deconstruct. There's a few cards that's actually stuck behind. So.
Oh, whoops! My bad.
Whoops, indeed. So.
Alright. So anyway, so if this card is your center, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects during your opponent's turn, and it's got double attack and soul guard. So what does double attack do? Well, basically speaking, you can attack with this monster twice. And for soul guard is basically if this card will leave the field by anything, you can remove a card from your soul to prevent it.
Now, soul in the terms of Buddyfight is that, right? Each monster can actually have a soul.
Yes.
As long as they have cards underneath itself, that's considered its soul.
Yes.
So what happens with Soul Guard is that, as Dempster mentioned, if you were to leave, then instead of the monster leaving, actually one of the cards underneath will actually leave to the drop zone instead.
Yes.
So that's what makes it different from Vanguard. So if you're as confused as I am with Soul Guard, I hope that clarifies, because well, I'm not as confused as before, but you kind of get used to this kind of skills and terminologies and such. So
alright, next we have the impact for this trial deck. This is Crystal Flawless Shoot, and this is very different from a lot of impacts that we see, because you may only cast this card during your opponent's final phase if you did not take damage during this turn and you have a size 3 Prism Dragon as your center. Cast cost is to pay 3 gauge and you deal 3 damage to your opponent.
And it's a counter too, so
rightfully so, because you'll not be able to cast this to your opponent's turn if it's not a counter.
Yeah.
So this is a surprise,
surprise! I did 3 damage to you.
Yes, now you die, that kind of thing. So it's like a really came out of nowhere kind of thing. Alright, next we have another size 3.
Nice.
Almost got it right. Yellow Crystal Dragon Lemire. So its core cost is to put the top card of your deck into this card, soul, and pay 1 gauge. So it's a soul guard, as we mentioned before. If this card will leave the field, you may discard 1 soul to prevent it. Simply put, that's just how it is.
Yeah. Alright. There's not much to really say onto it, because we are entering the uncharted territories here with Buddyfight, and so we're starting off, and then later
we hope to learn more, learn just as much as you guys, together with you guys as well. So alright, the next card we have here is Green Crystal Dragon Blunté. Blunt. So so the core cost is to put the top card of your deck into this soul and pay 2 gauge. When this card enters the field, you gain 3 life.
Oh.
And it has Soul Guard as well. So now if you notice, a lot of cards that we've been explaining so far has the Soul Guard ability, and that is because this is, like we say, this is a very defensive deck. So you need to make sure your monsters stay on the field so that you will not take any damage.
And also you can benefit from, like, say, the impact spell over here. So which is actually really, really handy to go to play around with. So as far as I can see,
very life changing. Yes,
life changing. Yes, you will see colors. All sorts of colors you will see.
Yes.
Alright, so the one that we have here right now, so this is another size 3 monster. This is Foam Crystal Dragon Jibil.
Okay.
Right. So its core cost is that you pay 2 gauge, and when this card attacks, you gain 1 life, and it has double attack. So once per turn, this card may stand after it attacks.
Yes.
That's what double attack actually means. So so basically when it attacks, right, so you can basically gain back 2 life just by it attacking twice.
Yes.
But I noticed there's actually a lot of size 3 monsters here, so you really have to pick and choose between what it is that you need and what it is that you want to have to give up for.
Correct.
For whatever your strategy is. So that's all the size 3 monsters, and moving forward into the size 1 monsters, there's no size 2 monsters in this deck, surprisingly enough, or maybe not surprisingly enough, and this is the only size 1 monster that this deck has. It's the only size 1 monster that this deck actually has.
Correct.
So this is Red Crystal Dragon Pinor. Yes. So basically, if you have its skill is that if you have a size 3 monster on your center, then the size of this monster on your field is reduced by 1. So this one becomes a 0 size monster as long as you have a size 3 monster on your center, which is actually really, really helpful. So, but of course, it's specific to it's specific to size 3 monster. So basically, any
size 3 works.
Any size 3 works. What I was going for is that even the previous builds for Star Dragon World
Unfortunately, the Star Dragon War back then didn't really start with mostly size 3, they're mostly size 2s. Yeah, size 2, so you can call a size 1 to the side or size 0.
I see,
so,
I see.
No worries, we got you.
Definitely got you. Alright, so moving on to size 0 monsters now. So this is White Crystal Dragon Moss card.
Yes.
Yep. So its ability is that it's a counter X skill. Alright, so during an attack on your opponent's turn, you may pay 1 gauge and put this card from your field to the drop zone. If you do, nullify the attack.
Yep.
So basically, this is a shield.
Yes, it's a shield.
Yeah. So basically, this is it acts as a shield. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So it's also rightfully so because there isn't much shield in here. So this sort of makes up for this lack of shield as compared to the Dragon World start deck, which provides you with a total of 6 shields. That's not funny.
Not funny at all, indeed. So, alright, so more size 0 monsters going on here. So, alright, so this is Red Crystal Dragon Malbec. Now it's a vanilla, so there's not much going on with it. It's a 2/2/1.
Hushmal, is that you?
I wonder if anybody else get that joke. So, alright, so we're going to be using the term 2/2/1 in terms of explaining the monster's stats in terms of attack, critical, and defense.
Yep.
Yeah. So 2, you guys get it, 2/2/1. So, alright. So the next one that we have here, Dempster.
Alright, this is White Crystal Dragon Veneer. So it's a 1 skill. When this card enters the field, if you have a size 3 monster on your center, you gain 1 life.
I like the flavor text that it has here. Gorgeous, beautiful, but of course, those are not compliments, just truths. How cocky! How cocky of you, Vigneault. So.
Well, then again, it's a dragon.
Yeah, it's true. Alright, so
we've covered all the monsters. Now we move on to the spells. Yep, so this single one is Dispersion. So you may only cast this card if you have a Prism Dragon in your center. Cast cost, pay 2 gauge, and you draw 2 cards.
Ooh.
Very simple.
Very simple indeed. There's 2 of it only, but I think considering what the deck might have, you probably could use those draws. So.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Alright, the next one we have here is... I have no idea what I'm supposed to be looking at. I feel like Joe's supposed to be sitting where I am right now, so I haven't. Yeah. So, but anyways, this is Visible Light. This is a spell, Visible Light.
Yep.
So, its ability is that you put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge. So you charge 2 from gauge. Then you have 8 life or more. Put the top card of your deck to your gauge. So if you have 8 life or more, you get the 3rd charge from your deck.
Yes.
I see.
So
yes, I see the light.
I see the visible light.
Wow.
We're going places, guys. So we're going places right now. So, alright. So the next one that we have here, this is another spell. This is Prism Amulet.
Yes.
So what's the ability?
Alright, it's actually a staple for all start decks or trial decks as well. So this is a counter. Choose a Prism Dragon in battle, and for this battle, give it plus 3k power, 3k defense, and counter attack. So what does counter attack do? So if your card is still on the field after an attack, then you choose a monster that attacked with defense less than or equal to this card's power and destroy it. So it's sort of this. So if it stays on the field after your opponent attacks with a certain monster, you destroy that monster. So this is counter attack. Very simple, very clear card, very easy to use.
Right. So the next spell that we have here, this is Mass Barrier.
Mass Barrier, yes.
Mass Barrier. So you may only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn. Yes, obviously,
Yes.
because the counter that it has is nullify the attack if it's not a link attack.
Yep.
Now, what link attack actually states is that you can have 2 monsters attack together, so they can actually combine their attack power and their critical into 1 attack.
Yes.
So basically, if your opponent does that, you cannot use this card as a shield.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's what link attack actually means, and what this card cannot defend against in terms of that.
Yep.
So the next one we have here is Harry Glide.
Harry Glide.
Yep. Your wizard Harry. No, not really. Your dragon Harry Glide. Alright. So its ability is you may cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn. So it's a counter. So you call a Prism Dragon from your hand to the center by paying its call cost. And for the battle, it gets counter attack and change the target of the attack to that monster.
Yep.
So with this card, you can actually get a Prism Dragon right in your center, and after that you can have whatever attack the opponent is doing redirect to your Prism monster that you just put in the center.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good, and it also gives a counter attack as well, so you can actually attack back to the monster that attacked you.
More surprises.
More surprises indeed. Very technical.
Alright, so
we're seeing all the technical side of this.
Yes. So we've already covered all the spells. Now we move on to the 2 items that was featured in this deck. So the first one is Crystal Ball. It's a soccer made from the future, made from a semi-liquid crystal. How do you kick crystals? Like seriously. Anyway, so this card can attack even if there's a monster on your center. Now, if you look at this, the power is 0. It's a solid 0. It has got 1 critical and 3k defense. Now, this is obviously a very defensive card. As you can see, so most like monsters with 2k or less power cannot hit it. But what is interesting is that because he has a 0 and you can still attack if there's a monster in the center, you do not add the power, you add the critical onto the monster and attack together in a link attack.
Turn it into a link attack. Yes. This is giving me Blitzball vibes from Final Fantasy X.
Kind of, yes.
So like suddenly my interest for this deck has suddenly went up.
Well, I mean, this deck is focused basically on soccer as a theme.
Yeah.
So why not, right?
Kanata is a soccer player.
Yes, he is. Professional someone.
Professional soccer player. So this is kind of like piquing my interest quite a bit because Blitzball.
Blitzball. Alright, the last item we have here is, what is it again?
Crystal Mark. Right, so it has a equip cost, so you need to pay 1 gauge in order to equip this item, which is basically put it on top of your flag. That's what equip means. So Prism Dragon on your center gets plus 1000 power and 1000 defense, so it gets a plus 101.
Yep.
Then at the end of the battle, that the Prism Dragon on your monster field, on the monster on your field was attacked. If you have a Prism Dragon on your center, put the top card of your deck to engage. This ability activates once per turn. So basically, as long as you have somebody attack your Prism monster that's on the field, and you have a Prism monster in the center, you can basically charge 1 from your deck.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means. Can you guys tell me?
Well, simply put, because I have seen like previews of this at Springfest 2017, and I've been told that this deck is very gauge heavy. So as many cards as possible that allows you to charge from your deck, your hand, or even from the field or whatsoever, is going to be very helpful for you to pay the cost to call out all these huge size monsters on your turn.
Actually keep you alive and keep you safe.
Yes, it keeps you alive, keeps you safe, and it also plays around with the theme that Kanata has developed called the no damage fight.
No damage fighter.
No damage fighter. What that means is that he takes no damage, and with that he gains benefit as well. It's not a keyword or mechanic, it's just him as a player.
Well,
he takes 0 damage and he does a lot of weird things.
Well, yeah, that's considering what Visible Light does. If you have 8 life or more, then you can actually get an additional charge as well.
Yeah, so this, like we've seen, this is a very defensive deck, and I really like it because defense playstyle isn't my thing. So I want to try this out, and we have a trial deck fight or start deck fight right now. It's on our channel as well. So if you want to see this deck pit itself against the Demon Lord Dragon of Tempest, you can check it out right now. But for this video, that is all. If you want to see more Crossbone Vanguard shenanigans and hopefully more Buddyfight material as well, just consider subscribing to us here on Crossbone Vanguard, and of course ring the little bell at the site so you can get yourself updated with all our regular and impromptu uploads. At the same time, follow us on our socials. We are on Twitter at CrossboneVGS, our Facebook at Crossbone Vanguards, and our blog at CrossboneVanguards.com, where you see things that you don't see on this channel, simply put. And lastly, we have a Patreon as well, so if you like what you see and you want to support us with even more than you're already doing right now, do consider going there and pledge some money to us and help us fund us for more ambitious projects such as our Vanguard Rap series and other more varied content. So with that said, thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!